All right, Pam. I'm just saying, it's get a little shaky for you.
Oh, I got my degree.
Like I said, I was waiting to get a chance to get Scott on. We're gonna get Scott. We're gonna bring him right on right now. We got Scott Williams. Welcome to the show, Scott. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I am very sorry that I couldn't get that link to work. I gotten up, shaved my bald head, it was looking pretty. I couldn't hear y'all.
It's okay, but we can hear you now, though. That's
Yes,
all right.
That's what's important.
Good. Before we get started, hello everybody.
Hello.
I got to give a shout out to my former teammates Jeff Denny and Pete Chilcutt, who are watching right now over at the Generator Super Center. They say that's a cigar spot, Errol, where you come and get your sticks from.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yep.
I got my spies back there in Raleigh keeping a tabs on you and Phil Ford when you guys roll in there and grab your stick.
Oh man, that's funny.
And to my other teammate who's in Raleigh, Marty Hensley over at Financial Safari, I want to give a shout out to him as well because I know he's listening in as well. And last but not, and most importantly, a big shout out to Eric Montross. Who is battling cancer, part of our Carolina family. We're throwing prayers up for him on a daily. So everyone, please keep Big E in your thoughts and prayers. Montross strong over around Chapel Hill.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. Absolutely. So, Scott, we're getting you on. We've been talking basketball, but you know what? We want to talk about the book. You have a book that you've written, that you were the author for, and it has a phenomenal story attached to it, Through the Fire. Talk to us about the book. Talk to us about the thought that went into writing the book, and what are your thoughts about it?
Well, it's called Through the Fire. It's a memoir of trauma, loss, basketball, and triumph, and really that's just exactly what it is. It kind of got hatched during the pandemic, in the heart of the pandemic, when the NCAA tournament got wiped out and NBA was shut down, all sports for that matter. And I'm a sports guy. I was jonesing for sports, and Michael Jordan's Last Dance came out and started doing some podcasts and TV and radio interviews with some of my former teammates with the Bulls and putting some of my stories on Facebook. And a couple of my buddies were like, hey, you should write a biography. Well, I didn't know the first thing about writing a book, but just how, things work in mysterious ways. I had a guy named Ben Guest who helped me write this book, who was working on one of his own. I said, you help me write mine, I'll help you write yours. And we just started writing, and he goes, well, what happened before you got to UNC and before you got to the NBA? And I had to get real, and I had to get raw with my emotions. I grew up in a household with a lot of domestic abuse, both verbal and physical, me, my mom, and my brother. And when I was at Chapel Hill, it was Jeff Denny who took answered the door, or Dean Smith, about 7:30 in the morning, knocked on the dormitory dorm over at Granville South, and Coach Smith walked in and told me that my dad had taken my mom's life and turned the gun on himself. And, I just was devastated, but I'm thankful that I was at Chapel Hill with Coach Smith. I wanted to quit basketball. And if I had gone back to California, I would have given up on my dreams of getting an education, my dreams of playing in the NBA that I shared with my mother. And he just said no. He wanted me close by and in that Carolina family with that structure. And it worked out really well for me because they wrapped that warm blanket of love and support around me. Everyone from the basketball office, Angela Lee and Kay Thomas and Linda Woods. And they were wonderful. And the Chapel Hill community and how Coach Smith had built his program, it was the perfect place for me to be able to heal. And I needed that, and I'm indebted to Coach Smith and everything that he did to help me through a very difficult time in my life.
Wow, man! Wow. Again, that's a mouthful. That Scott. We're talking to Scott Williams, Carolina great, 3-time NBA champion, and with the Chicago Bulls, and obviously you can tell just a wonderful guy. Scott, I got a chance to read it, man. I tell you, I couldn't put it down. It was fascinating. I mean, and how you open up and just was being transparent about your life, and a lot of people don't do that. And I'm curious, are you going to make an audible version of this as well? Because I listen to a lot of books online, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the number one question. A lot of people ask if I'm going to, do an audible version or if I'll voice it myself, and I don't know. this is all brand new to me. So I've got to step on my way as quickly and as correctly as I possibly can through this process. One thing that I will say is I do get a lot of good feedback from it, and the most important thing from this book is that I'm trying to help some domestic violence centers. I'm trying to give back to the community. I was in Chapel Hill a couple weeks ago. My teammates came out to Chapel Hill Sportswear. We had a book signing there. The Compass Center, which is right off of Franklin Street, who helps women and children. And we were in a similar situation that my mom and me and my brother found ourselves in. So we raised some funds for them. Chapel Hill Sportswear donated 10% of their proceeds, and some of the book funds went to that as well. So very happy that I've been able to use the book as a means to doing something even greater than just telling my story. Because every NBA ball player's got a story, and mine's a little bit different because it's not from a perspective of growing up in the inner city. Everything looked fantastic. I grew up in a suburban home in Southern California, a 3-car garage, 2-story house with a swimming pool and a jacuzzi in the backyard. So it just goes to show that this type of thing is it crosses all through all different types of economical landscapes, and we have to raise awareness to it because one out of every 20 people in the United States every minute is affected by domestic violence in some way, both either verbal or physical, and 1 out of every 3 women in their lifetime will either know somebody or they will be affected either by domestic violence, directly or indirectly. So it's something that I thought to be able to honor Coach Smith, to be able to honor my mother, to do something right there with the Compass Center in Chapel Hill, it just kind of makes me feel real good.
Wow, this is awesome. Awesome to talk to Scott Christopher Williams. We were talking about your whole name earlier. But you're part...
You go back to Chapel Hill with me?
I know, that's right. That's what I was going to talk about. Tell these guys that, you know me on campus.
He said Curtis Allen?
Yes, Curtis was my best friend.
That's right.
Yes, still is.
Don't make me ask Scott Christopher Williams.
Okay, we're going to move on to I'm going to stop, but it is so awesome to talk to you again, Scott, and I applaud you, as Reese was talking about, for your vulnerability and transparency in this book. But I also want to give you the opportunity to talk about your mom a little bit and the person that she was.
Wow. Yeah, thank you, Pam, because she was a beautiful spirit, very warm, very inviting, made friends very easily, quick to laugh, quick to tell a joke. She taught me how to play baseball growing up. That was my first love. My mom was into sports, and when I wasn't tagged, when my older brother wouldn't let me tag along with him, it was my mom would play catch with me in the backyard. So, teach me how to hold the bat, and that was my first love. I was actually a really good baseball player, if I do say so myself. I was a home run hitter in the league, and I remember the coaches cried when I told them I wasn't going to come out for the next season and wanted to concentrate on basketball. But I knew kind of where my bread was buttered. I loved the sports, quicker paced and going up and down. But yeah, mom's was great. Her name was Claire, but everyone called her Rita. I think. I was young, I wasn't sure, but I think she liked a margarita or two back in the day. They stuck with her, and everybody knew her as Rita Williams. But, Coach Smith was crafty. When he came out for his official home visit, he was the only one of the coaches that came to visit and invited my mother to come to Chapel Hill with me on my official visit. And when she saw that campus and that town, that college atmosphere, she fell in love with it right away. We arose on I think it was Friday afternoon, and by Sunday, evening, she was nudging me, telling me to tell Coach Smith I was going to come to the University of North Carolina. So he fell in love with it, and Coach Smith promised my mama that he would take good care of me. I don't realize if he knew exactly what he was in for, but true to his word, he looked out for me. But the book it touches on, obviously my childhood and the trauma, but the one thing I'm most proud of is that it also, we didn't get hung up on that. It talks a lot about my time in Chicago with Michael Jordan, my teammates in North Carolina, playing with LeBron James, taking a young Kobe Bryant and picking up his tab at Outback Steakhouse,
Aw.
all the things, that I kind of went through, but not in a chronological order so much as just my memories as they flooded back to me as I was writing the book, and my time with Allen Iverson, which wasn't so good.
Yeah.
I talk a little bit about what it's like to be a professional in the NBA, and how you stick and how you leave a legacy with some of the younger guys that you play with as you get older. Because I played 15 years. The mind was sharp,
That's
but
awesome.
the body was about done by the time I was finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking with Scott Williams, UNC great as well as NBA legend. I'm talking about a book, Through the Fire, that you have coming out, and I always like to kind of get a little insight as you've gone through this process now, looking back on your NBA career, looking back on a number of things that you've done that you're successful about, and then going through the process of writing this book. Is there one thing that stood out to you the most that you remember that you were surprised about at the end of this process?
How difficult it was for me to relive some of that trauma. It was tough. I thought it would be a 6-month process. It took me almost 2.5 years, you guys, just because I had to put it down. I want to deal with those negative emotions.
Right.
Your mom, the hands of your father, the things that I had to go through. Those late nights in the dormitory. I get real. I get raw and emotional. I talk about having dark thoughts and hitting the beers a little too hard and being so exhausted trying to get to Dean Smith practice. I didn't know how I found the energy or the strength to sometimes be able to make it through, because he didn't take it easy on me my sophomore year. My teammates will attest. We worked so hard and in practice, all the sprints and the conditioning and the banging that we did. But that became therapeutic for me, being on that court. But
I can imagine.
Those emotions that came flooding back, and trying to remember to thank everybody, but not make the books, drag on too much.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the right process is for that. And my only complaint that I get from folks is when they say they read it, they read it straight through, and they go, they wanted more.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was
what
my
we did.
comment. Yep.
I feel really bad if they said I picked it up and read 20, 25 pages and never touched it again.
No,
I see a movie coming.
Sorry.
I see a movie coming.
Baby, so it's a good read.
It is.
Again, we're talking to Scott. Scott, this is I got 2 real quick questions. One is that talk a little bit about Angela's mom and dad and how they kind of linked in with you as well, and how can people find the book? So those 2 questions real quickly.
So the leads were great. Angela, Lily, and Howard would always have me over. They timed it just about right, where I needed a spaghetti dinner or just some fried chicken, some soul food, and it was always great to have them a big source of support, and they would lift my spirits. The book is easy to find. If you can't remember, Through the Fire, just from Scott Williams' book on Amazon, pops up on the first page. You can get it in Kindle, paperback, or hardcover. And just every dollars from every book. That's the most important thing. What will help bring awareness and support the domestic violence efforts.
That's awesome.
In my hometown here in Phoenix as well. So I'm real proud of it. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm a huge Tar Heel.
Yes.
I might have been born in California, but I was raised a Tar Heel. I bleed blue. Watching that team a year ago, going to Cameron Indoor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on.
Basketball
Yes.
game there,
Really?
and they go into the Final Four with my children and my brothers from Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Going down there. Jordan outfitted us all with
wow.
nice gear with blue
Okay, that's
University
nice.
and white gear. And we went down and we ended Coach K's career.
See, K-Mac, you
Moments
see what I'm saying,
forever.
K-Mac?
Ever forget? We're gonna kind of forget about this season.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
right.
Oh,
We we might be down, but we're gonna get back up. And bounce back.
I'm a firm believer in Hubert Davis. Don't you worry, Scott. You are now officially on my list of people to call.
He's a Duke guy now. Hey,
He's
Scott,
a Duke.
Scott, K-Mac's a Duke guy, so don't worry about it.
But that's okay. I missed calling you this year, but I got a feeling I'm gonna be able to call you.
No,
again
you
this
won't. We good. Scott, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Scott. It was great to
Enjoy,
talk
my
to you.
friend.
We'll be in touch.
Catching up with you guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Go Heels.
There
Go
you go.
Hills, Tar Heels.
Outstanding. That's good stuff, though.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was good stuff.
That's outstanding.